I'm Teisha Bader with Shalom TV's News Update. Former U.S. Ambassador to Israel Martin Indyk said Sunday that every effort must be made to reach a deal with Iran, but that he fears if no solution is found, there could be a military confrontation with Iran in 2013. Indyk made the comments on CBS's Face the Nation. The former ambassador explained the situation Israel is in and its ongoing calls for the U.S. to draw red lines regarding Iran.
Well, I think that Israel is very nervous about the rapid deterioration in its neighborhood. The turmoil that we see from here, they see from a much closer perspective. And that combines with the, as the Prime Minister puts it, the race of Iran towards nuclear weapons capability. All of that, I think, makes them very nervous. And that's why the Prime Minister is coming out much more vocally than one might have expected in the midst of an election campaign here, saying, you know, we need reassurances, we need red lines against the Iranians, because from his point of view, that's the greatest threat they face.
However, Indyk also said that the idea of putting out a public red line, in effect issuing an ultimatum, is something that no president would do. You notice Governor Romney is not putting out a red line, Indyk said. Senator McCain didn't either, and neither is Bibi Netanyahu, for that matter, in terms of Israel's own actions, because it locks you in. Indyk further said that he didn't think that there was a great difference between Netanyahu and Obama as far as the president's commitment not to allow Iran to acquire nuclear weapons. Indyk, who served as a U.S. ambassador to Israel twice, is currently director for foreign policy at the Brookings Institution in Washington. The Jerusalem Post reports that Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas declared Tuesday that he was determined to lead the, quote, battle for recognition of a Palestinian state at the UN General Assembly later this month. His announcement came as PLO officials in Ramallah talked about the need to either cancel or change certain articles of the Oslo Accords. In a message to Palestinians posted on his Facebook account, Abbas said he was determined to pursue the statehood bid despite pressure from the U.S. and other countries, and said he would deliver his UN speech on September the 27th, asking for recognition of a Palestinian state as a non-member of the UN. Abbas further said that achieving the status of non-member in the UN would enable the Palestinians to argue that they are living in a state that is occupied by another country. The president of the World Jewish Congress addressed a gathering in Germany last week, calling on the German government and all the countries of Europe not to restrict religious freedom and Jewish practices, saying, quote, don't tell us Jews how to be Jewish. WJC President Ronald Lauder was attending a ceremony of the ordination of 4 rabbis in the German city of Cologne last week, the same city where a local court back in June ruled the religious ritual of circumcision to be a criminal act. Lauder spoke of the rise in anti-Semitism and Jews being treated like strangers even though they have lived in Germany for centuries.
Today, in certain quarters, we witness here in Germany Jews being regarded as strangers, Auslanders. Our custom and tradition are called into question. Unfortunately, this is not something new. Some, very few, in Germany want to dictate what a Jew can and cannot do. But I urge you, don't tell us Jews how to be Jewish.
And finally, some baseball news. Team Israel will participate in a double elimination qualifying round on Wednesday in Jupiter, Florida for the 2013 World Baseball Classic. Israel is one of 12 new teams competing in the Classic and will face off against South Africa and then the winner of France versus Spain. The best record of the 4 teams will move on to the first round in March of next year. Among the 28 players on the team are several American former major leaguers, including Shawn Green and Gabe Kapler, who will play outfield in Wednesday's game. Green and Kapler will also serve as coaches for the Israeli squad, managed by former Major League catcher Brad Ausmus. Only 3 players on the Israeli team are Israeli born and raised. The 25 others are Jewish Americans, most of them playing in the minor leagues. Non-Israeli players are allowed to play for Israel as long as one parent is Jewish and are eligible for Israeli citizenship. If Israel wins the qualifying round this week, it's possible that other MLB players could join in. Israeli media had reported that Kevin Youkilis had committed to the team, although Brad Ausmus said he had not been notified of that. And speaking of Kevin Youkilis, the Chicago White Sox Jewish third baseman said he was pleased with the time change for the upcoming September 25th game against the Cleveland Indians to accommodate Yom Kippur. The game in Chicago was moved from 7:10 p.m. to 1:10 p.m., the White Sox announced last week, citing a significant number of White Sox fans who had contacted the club over the game's conflict with Yom Kippur. Youkilis, who reportedly has never played a game on Yom Kippur, told the Chicago Tribune, "I guess that means I can play." And that's Shalom TV's news update. I'm Teisha Bader.